So, um, I was half asleep on my sofa like 2 weeks ago, and this is the goal of meditation: is to make your body fall asleep while your mind's awake. And my mind was awake, and my body had fell asleep. And I got an image. I had a mystical experience, and I got an image of a wooden brain. And this wooden brain I knew was my own. And this wooden brain had certain channels carved into it. And this is how your brain works. If you look at consciousness as water, symbolically, and you have this brain which is wood, as the consciousness comes in, as water carves out a river, the more it runs around inside certain areas of your brain, the more it's carving out these channels inside you. And of course, naturally, then when consciousness comes to your mind, the water hits your wooden brain, and to use this symbology that my dream gave me, the water naturally goes to the lowest level, to those channels, the easiest route, because water takes the path of least resistance. And consciousness will also, when not spoken to, when left on autopilot, will take the path of least resistance. I had this vision, and it was really clear to me in this vision that these ruts in my brain needed to be filled in, and new ruts needed to be created. Hey, beautiful family. I mentioned my want to put a new channel out, and I'm going to do that soon. But I think to warm up to that, I want to try and be a little bit authentic about my health status and give you an update. A lot of you were and are invested in my journey and my health, and some of you even saved me by supporting my financial needs during my health recovery as well, which actually I'm staying at present. This house that I stay in is off the back of those of you who allowed for that, who supported me to get better whilst being able to still continue with the charity, which does require some element of support and comfort, because I was just getting more and more ill in Featherstail. So I think it's important as well, because there are persons watching me who often say, "How did you fully recover from Lyme?" And I haven't. I will, and I'm going to, and I am, but I am not there yet. And so I don't want to have any disingenuous view in the world. And as I've often said, naturally the camera points at me. I've tried to communicate this when I'm feeling my best. And sometimes I have to really meditate and rest a lot before I make a video, because I'm having a bit of a tough day or something like this. But I also know the power of life and death is in the tongue. And not a lot of people know that you need to be thanking God for your healing. You need to be staying in that high vibration and not getting onto the, "Oh, he's sick," because that doesn't help anybody, and it never will. And, your word is your wand. The power of life and death is in your tongue. And so you must speak the reality that you want to see. And that is what I am doing. And that's why I haven't spoken about my health. Joseph Campbell said inside the hero's journey that on the journey of every man comes a point where he needs to slay his dragon. And every scale on the dragon is written those things the world has told you should be, and the things that you think you should be as well. And a culmination of all of the skills that you have learned and everything you've picked up in your life amounts at this dragon, and you've got to use all of it to slay this dragon. Well, I am there. I am positive I am at my dragon. And the skills I have learned, I must apply them all. It's fine for me to tell you all, as in my last video, that you must become as a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. But it's also important to see that because I created all these programs in my brain to build this charity, I came from a quite monastic life. I was alone in nature for a long time, and then I came, and these things were not natural to me. To put myself out as much as I was, to build this, to help the kids, etc., it didn't come that natural. So I formed these habits in my subconscious, these patterns inside my mind. And they have, many of them, made me sick because I was refusing to rest and refusing to love myself, and they got out of control. And so now I, through my sickness, was made into a child. I've had to learn my new boundaries in life. I've had to learn the new way to live, a new way to walk, literally, because I can't go too far. I've had to learn a new way to sustain my body. I've had to learn a new way to explore the environment around me. And I was made a child ultimately by the illness because I myself was stuck in high beta. I was stuck in that earth beta level of consciousness. I know most of you have seen that video and most of you get it by now. I was stuck there, and this is what made me sick. I was caught in fight or flight. So despite all of my knowledge, despite all my past experience, I was not able to apply it. And now I must learn, as a child must learn, to apply all of that I've learned in the world to slay this dragon. And that dragon actually is evident in my recovery. I just want to take a minute from this video to share with you that our family is having a bit of a crisis here in Tanzania. Two of our children's homes have been affected quite heavily by COVID-19. Butterfly Boys Home and Butterfly Girls Home provides a loving family home for more than 30 children who don't have anyone to look after them in this world. These children are able-bodied and they're all 12 years or younger. The homes were normally paid for using fundraising events, such as cycling events, marathons, mountain climbs, and due to the pandemic, the fundraising for that did not come in. And as this year is unfurling before us, we are facing a lot of difficulties covering the cost of these projects. There is thus a dedicated page to share with those homes to help us get through the rest of the year until our fundraising events can start again. But I also have opened a $2 a week or $2 a month YouTube page for this. And with so many thousands of people watching us, I understand that not everybody has, at this time in the world, the ability to offer much. But I figured if a percentage of those thousands of people were able to share $2 a week or $2 a month, it would change everything for what we are doing at the moment, and our struggles off the back of this pandemic would pretty much be over if enough persons could do that. So the link for that is in the description of this video, and thank you for the love and support as always. These homes exist because of your love and sharing, and I just don't want any disruption to our children's lives, and at the moment it's getting close to that, and this is of great concern. Food, medical care, everything a family has to pay for is a requirement for these children, including having persons there 24 hours a day to be a parent to them as well. And so, thank you for the love and support, and I hope you can help us to get through, if you are in a position to do so, this trying time. God bless, guys. Bye. So as I continue on this recovery, I'm on a very strong herbal protocol, which I'll probably stay on for the rest of my life, and it's the Stephen Harrod-Boona protocol for those interested. And it's an amazing protocol. You should take it if you have Lyme, no matter what, and you will get a result within 8 months, I guarantee it. It's amazing, it's really amazing. But what I have is a leftover problem in my body of post-exertion malaise. And not to bore you with the science, but what this means is when I do too much, my body crashes. And this is very common in persons with tick-borne illnesses. It's happening with people with long COVID. Myalgic encephalitis have this problem as well. And it's basically mitochondrial. Your mitochondria can't repair the energy. So I have to learn to live inside an energy envelope. And when I'm in a low, it's easy for me to do because I know I can't go out and drive my car, I can't walk here. But when I'm starting to feel better, I'm sabotaging because not of anything other than not being able to slay my dragon, not applying the tools that I've learned correctly. So when I feel really good, I do too much and I put myself back again by overdoing it and facing post-exertion malaise, which I'm currently at this moment facing and have been on and off pretty much all year. And the problem is coming, I mean, when I'm in that state, I can't even drive my car. I'm so unable to focus for that long. I'm so tired, etc. So The problem comes in my recovery at this stage that I have these inner patterns inside my mind to change. And actually, I've been doing a lot of different meditations at the moment to find them. That's what I'm doing. I'm seeking these polluted, broken parts of my subconscious, these habitual parts. And many of us operate from a habitual part. You know, you get in your car and you drive your car, and you might get there and you don't even remember how it is that you got to where you are because you're driving from an automated part of your brain. I need to undo the automated parts of my mind that have made me like this, that have made me not give the self-care to myself that I need to give to myself to get better. And to sustain what I do with my life and what I've decided to do with my life, I must remove those patterns. And because of these meditations and an increase in my yoga practice and really giving a lot of self-care, I was half asleep on my sofa. Leela, hey, it's my special needs dog arguing with my other dog. So, I was half asleep on my sofa like 2 weeks ago. And this is the goal of meditation, is to make your body fall asleep while your mind's awake. And my mind was awake and my body had fell asleep. And I got an image. I had a mystical experience. And I got an image of a wooden brain. And this wooden brain I knew was my own. And this wooden brain had certain channels carved into it. And this is how your brain works. If you look at consciousness as water, symbolically, and you have this brain which is wood, as the consciousness comes in, as water carves out a river, the more it runs around inside certain areas of your brain, the more it's carving out these channels inside you. And of course, naturally, then when consciousness comes to your mind, the water hits your wooden brain, and to use this symbology that my dream gave me, the water naturally goes to the lowest level, to those channels, the easiest route, because water takes the path of least resistance. And consciousness will also, when not spoken to, when left on autopilot, will take the path of least resistance. I had this vision, and it was really clear to me in this vision that these ruts in my brain needed to be filled in, and new ruts needed to be created, ones of self-care and self-love, ones that I had before I started doing the charity and my spiritual ego took over, and I thought like I could heal the world and save the world, and you can't, but I can help the one in front of me each given day, but I can only do that when I ensure that I have all of the love and care, self-care that I need. And so this vision allowed me to see that I need to fill in those ruts, and I also need to redirect consciousness. And the only way to redirect water or to redirect consciousness in your brain is to be very present and conscious with what's going on within there. Because if the water is going into one of those ruts, if your consciousness is going into one of those habituated patterns that are not serving you, you have to be aware that it's heading in there before it enters, and it's spurling and spinning around inside there. You have to be conscious, hey, this is entering the place I don't want it to go, and I need to redirect it. And that rut's going to remain deep until you redirect it often enough that that can fill in and regrow. And this is exactly what we do inside the neuroplasticity of ourselves with meditation. I am currently at that stage where I am fighting my dragon, because I have all of these tools and I have to apply them now and make myself whole and healed and well. And so I am not my full self at all. I still struggle. I have a vision board to help me with things. I put a vision board picture of a father or a man, whoever he was, carrying a child on his shoulders. And 6 weeks of focusing on that, I walked around with my son for 5 kilometers on my shoulders a few weeks ago, and it was glorious. But it gives you an idea how many things that I would take for granted I can't do, because I've had to re-enter the state of a child to re-enter the kingdom in a new way. And I think this is the deep journey of being born again in totality, perhaps. I don't know. I'm still a student of life, as I call it, on this beautiful journey anyway. But this is the point I'm at the moment. So I am still wrestling my dragon here, And I just want to make that clear. I don't want anyone to look at me and be like, hey, he's totally sorted. And this is the failing of YouTube. It's very hard, even with friendships. People see you and they're like, but you look okay on YouTube. Why can't you see me? Why can't you come and catch up with me? And it's like, yeah, you don't see the build up to that video. You don't see the struggle. You don't see me balancing myself. You don't see me finding space for myself. And I really just don't have it. I don't have the capacity to do it all at the moment. And that, I think, is me being very open, but I know that I'm getting better, because physical health is often a reflection of the inner health of yourself. And my inner mental health was not okay. I was perhaps on the point of a breakdown from the burden that I put on my body here. And then these infections that people get, many people get Lyme, but they don't get ill. They don't get super sick like I did. They get babesia that it can go latent in the body. But when you're stuck in stress and fight or flight like me, like I was, then your immune system's suppressed. Everything's suppressed, and you're stuck in the wrong state of consciousness to be able to be strong and to be healthy. And so the sickness made me a child again. And because of that, I now have dismantled this. I'm dismantling these building blocks of my spiritual ego that made me say, I'm strong enough that I don't need self-care. I'm spiritually strong enough that I'm superhuman and I don't need to look after myself in this way. I still need to give myself time, basically. My dogs are going to howl now. Any second now, my dogs are going to howl. Okay, I'm back. Oh! Are we okay? Are we good? Are we good? Coco, come. Coco, come on. That's enough. We're good. Joys of having a pack of dogs at your home. There's 10 at my home, but I need security here. So, these patterns that I created inside myself are basically the ego. That dragon is the ego, and it's the new ego. I slayed one ego big time when I was younger with the drug addiction and stuff. But I left too many roots in it, and a new one has rose up. And a root of my sickness are these problems coming from my ego. Because when I feel like I am better, for example, I slip back into those patterns I mentioned, I overdo it, and I make myself unwell again. Because, as I read from an amazing book, When the Body Says No, Dr. Gaber made, this book teaches if you don't learn to say no, then your body will say no through physical illness. And this is where I'm at. I'm in that cycle of I need to learn to say no. And if I don't, my body tells me with physical illness, or in my instance, what we call post-exertion malaise. I get the energy pulled from my body. So this is me being open about my recovery. I will only be physically better when I am fully mentally better. And navigating that maze of the mind takes time for me and takes effort, because I am a very stubborn man and I created very stubborn patterns to build the charity. But those patterns did not serve care for me. There was too much self-sacrifice and martyrdom in there that I need to evaluate and remove these parts of my consciousness as not sustainable. It's not a valid long-term option for my body or for the children that I love. And this is what I'm currently doing at the moment. And I believe once I clean all of those inner demons up, then you'll see my health bounce back fully. And that's why I want to start my new channel, because I want to discuss these things in depth. I want to show you what I'm doing. I want to show you this inner journey and show you my very human side that all of you are facing and asking me, what do I do? How do I get into presence? And it's like, well, you've got to do the work. But I see a lot of people don't know what the work is. So the new channel will cover everything I'm saying here, but in more depth. Right. Semi-spiritual musing, semi-health update, I think. I love you all. Take care and see you in the next video.